So we are going to go ahead and start with the Caticorn's head and body. For this, you're going to need your crochet hook, your blue yarn, and a marker. So the first thing you want to do is form a slip knot. We do this by holding our two fingers together like this, wrapping the yarn around to form an X, as seen, and then we place our thumb on the middle of the X, flip our fingers over, and then we're going to place the crochet hook underneath the first one, grab onto our second loop with our crochet hook, and then see where that hole forms. That's where the crochet hook is going to be placed. And then to tighten our slip knot, we're going to pull on the shorter string and the longer string. So we call that shorter string the tail, and then the longer string is going to be the working yarn. It's really important that we keep good control of our yarn. So we do this by holding up our pinky finger, placing the working yarn on there, holding our palm out, flipping it over like this. Then you're going to place your pointer finger underneath of the yarn, and your thumb and your middle finger are going to hold the working yarn right here, so right at the crochet hook. So keep in mind, the harder you pull on your pointer finger, making this piece of the yarn tight, the smaller the hole is going to be on the crochet hook. So you want to use this to kind of control your project, but if you pull it too tight, it can make it really hard to complete your project. So try to keep your finger relaxed, but the yarn on there. So the first part of the pattern is to chain 4 and form a ring. So you do this by having the crochet hook point towards the yarn. We're going to grab it. Then you're going to move your crochet hook towards your hand, kind of twist it around there, and then pull it through the hole. So again, crochet hook towards the yarn, pull it towards your hand, pull it through the loop. Alright, so we've chained 4. So to make the ring, we're going to place our crochet hook in the first chain, and then we're going to grab onto our string and pull it through both of these loops. So for round 2, we're going to do 4 increases. So what that means, so an increase is when we put 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So we want to start with the stitch that's 1 over from where our working yarn is coming out of. So as you can see, the stitch is right there. We have a loop that is right here, and you're going to put your crochet hook in there. Let's see if I can make it visually easier to see. Here we go. Alright, so we put in our first stitch. I'm going to grab on to our yarn, pull it through like that. And so you can see there are 2 loops on my crochet hook. And then we're going to grab onto the yarn and pull it through both of those loops. So that is 1 single crochet. So we're going to do that twice in the same stitch because it's an increase. So increases essentially make the object bigger. So here, as you can see, the yarn's coming out of that loop, so we're going to put it in this loop right here. So that completes round 2. So for round 3, we're going to do a single crochet and an increase. So at this point of the project, so it's really easy to get lose track of your starting point. So it's really important that we use our marker to mark where we are. Okay, so for this round, we're going to do a single crochet and an increase. That's going to be the pattern that goes around our stitches. So here you notice that there's 2 little loops making our stitch this go around. So we want to make sure that our crochet hook goes underneath of both of them. So the pattern is 1 single crochet and then an increase. So in this stitch, we're going to put 2 single crochets in. All right, again, 1 single crochet and then an increase. So that completes round 3. So for round 4, we're going to do 2 single crochets and an increase. For round 5, we're going to do 3 single crochets and an increase. Okay, so for round 6 through 13, we're going to do a single crochet all the way around the ring. So about 7 times. So we finish round 13. Next, for round 14, you're going to do 3 single crochets and a decrease. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, and then to do a decrease, you're going to put the hook into the first stitch, pull the yarn through, you got 2 loops on your crochet hook, and then you're gonna put your hook through the second loop or stitch, and so you got 3 loops on your crochet hook. And then we're going to take the yarn and then we're going to pull it through all 3 of those loops. So what this does is it shrinks the ring that we crochet around. So let me go ahead and put my marker in real quick, and then we'll do this until we get to the end of the marker. So again, 1, 2. So again, our decrease, we put our crochet hook through the first stitch where the yarn is not coming out of, pull the yarn through, put it in that second stitch, we have our 3 loops, and we're going to pull the yarn through the 3 loops. So for round 15, we're going to do 2 single crochets and then another decrease. So our next round is a single crochet and a decrease. Alright, so as you can see, the ring got really tiny. This is one of the hardest parts. So, for round 17, you're going to do a single crochet and an increase. So this part is kind of like his little head, and then we're going to make it bigger, and it will form his body. So again, to do an increase, you essentially put 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So for our next round, we have 2 single crochets and an increase. So for round 19, we're going to do 3 single crochets and an increase. So for round 20, we're going to do 4 single crochets and an increase. Okay, so from rounds 20 to 25, you're just going to do a single crochet around the loop. So we're going to go around this loop 5 times with just some single crochets. So we went ahead and finished round 25. And before we get ahead of ourselves, we're going to go ahead and stuff the Caticorn's head. So what you're going to do is just take a little bit of stuffing and push it in with your crochet hook until the head is at the fullness that you would like. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. So for round 26, you're going to do 5 single crochets and an increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at that, back to the side. So here. All right, that's my increase. So 2 crochets into this stitch. 1, 2, 5. And increase. Okay, so from rounds 27 to 32, we're going to do a single crochet all the way around the ring. So that's a total of 5 times. I'm going to do this off camera to kind of save time. So we just finished round 32. Before we continue on, I would strongly suggest adding a little bit more stuffing to your Caticorn. So we're just going to put some more stuffing in there. Squish it in there. All right, so for round 31, we're going to do 4 single crochets and a decrease. So decrease, you're going to take your crochet hooks in the stitch, round that string, see your crochet hook in the next stitch, round that string, you have to pull 3 loops on your crochet hook, and then pull your string through them. For round 32, we're going to do 3 single crochets and a decrease. So just as a refresher, for a single crochet, you stick your crochet hook through the stitch that has 2 loops on it, that where your yarn's not coming out of. You hook on, have your hook facing the yarn, twist the hook away towards your hand, and pull it through. Got 2 loops, and then you pull your string through those loops. To decrease, gonna stick your crochet hook in the first stitch, pull the yarn through, second stitch, pull your yarn through, got 3 loops on your crochet hook, and pull the yarn through all 3 loops. So I know I've been repeating myself a lot in this video, but I do that so that as you practice this and get better at crocheting, how the skills that you learn, they kind of become muscle memory. So it's going to feel awkward the first few times you do it, but like they say, practice makes perfect. All right, round 33, 2 single crochets and a decrease. We can add a little bit more stuffing too. Sorry, the stuffing sometimes becomes a little hard to stitches. So for round 34, we're going to do a single crochet and a decrease. Alright, so this is your last opportunity to add any stuffing that you would like. And then what we're going to do is we're going to decrease until this hole is sealed. So I'm going to add just a little bit more stuffing because I want his belly to be looking a little bigger. Let's see if we can fit any in there. There we go. All right, so it's a little challenging, but it'll be okay. There we go. All right. Another nice thing about this part is you don't have to use your marker anymore because we're essentially crocheting it or decreasing it until this little hole is sealed. All right, looks like we finished it. So I'm going to go ahead and use my scissors to cut a little bit of a tail. And then we're going to pull that string through. Alright, so as you can see, our caticorn looks a little cylindrical, and that's okay. That means we'll have lots of room for his arms and his legs. So to make him look a little bit fatter, what we can do is we can kind of squish him down like this and spread some of that stuffing out. Alright, so that concludes the body and head.